Mark, a man in his middle years, starts his day in the normal way, waking up early and going through his regular morning habits. Through his window, he sees a man in a building nearby hitting his own window as if he cannot get out. As Mark keeps getting ready, he understands something is not right. The water and power in his apartment are both gone. Still, he makes himself get ready for work like normal. When he attempts to leave, he finds that the front door will not budge. It has been closed from the outside. And at the very same time, his phone stops working. Looking for another way out, he tries the windows, but they are shut tight and will not open. From his apartment, he sees people in the building facing him banging on their windows and attempting to get help. He also sees several people in safety suits moving around the neighborhood. Paying no attention to this, he takes a hammer and attempts to smash the door open, but he only hurts his hand very badly. He hurries to treat himself and begins putting bandages on his hand. Without any notice, the wall of his apartment breaks apart as someone pushes their way through from the unit next door. Sergey, an angry young man, comes in with his younger brother, Nico. Sergey looks at Mark's windows and understands that Mark is stuck the same way he is. A little later, their neighbors Sally and Aiden also come in through the understanding that someone must have sealed the whole floor from the outside. Aiden, who has a job with the government, gets very concerned and thinks something dangerous is going to happen. He attempts to get help again, but nothing is working. Or at least the powerful companies who run it. There has been talk on the internet for weeks if you knew where to search. The apartment radio turns on by itself. A voice says everyone should stay quiet while medical groups work to bring the problem under control. This only makes the group more afraid. Sally then says she will care for Mark's hurt hand with medicine while they speak for a bit. Mark then thinks of his old neighbor Enid and right away asks Sergey to knock down the wall to her apartment. Once they go inside, they discover her on the ground not awake, but thankfully she is just sleeping. After some time, the group stands near the window to understand what is going on outside. They watch workers in safety suits putting up temporary medical shelters in the area. The radio comes on once more and says that a harmful gas leak has happened, ordering everyone to stay inside. Aiden does not trust the story and believes something more serious is being kept secret. Mark also watches medical workers spraying cleaning chemicals around the building and taking people who look sick to a nearby area. All at once, they see a man outside attempting to run away. Before he can get far, he is killed by a shooter, frightening everyone who is looking from their windows. The group understands that those people are deadly. Not long after, workers in safety suits start breaking into nearby apartments. Anyone who will not do what they say is pulled outside. Seeing this occur makes Mark and the others understand that the medical groups could arrive at their unit any second. They begin talking about different methods to break the door and escape before that occurs. Wait for them. We must get out. After considering for some time, Mark remembers that he has some powerful chemicals in his apartment that could make the seal on the door weaker. The group looks through the place until they find the chemicals. Mark combines the chemicals and makes a mixture, then puts it along the lower edge of the front door. The seal becomes soft almost right away, making a bad smell. And with a strong push from everybody, the door finally opens. With the way out now open, they start creating a plan to get to safety without being seen. They know they need to stay away from the shooter placed on the roof. But their planning ends when Enid notices that Nico is not with them anymore. Everyone stops the talk and begins looking for the boy. Nico, scared and in hiding, has gone through an air passage. He comes out on the level below where he watches two workers in safety suits attempting to make a woman go with them. They give her a shot with a drug to make her sleep, but she suddenly starts coughing hard and falls down, showing that something harmful is in the air. Mark and Sergey in the end find Nico and drop a homemade rope into the passage to bring him out. Before the boy can take it, the suited workers hear the noise, discover Nico, and take him away. Very scared for his brother, Sergey takes a baseball bat and runs down the stairs with Mark right behind him. The two quickly find the suited workers. In a moment of rage, Sergei hits one of them, striking him very hard, and the man stops breathing right away. Sergei then takes hold of the other worker, a woman, and tries to hurt her. With Mark stopping him, they make her go back to their apartment. Sally looks through the woman's things and discovers a few smoke bombs, which makes her even more doubtful about what is truly going on. Mark tries questioning the woman, but Sergei pulls her to the window and lifts her up with a sign that reads, "We have one." Mark talks to her more gently and asks what is happening. She says her name is Hazel and claims they are here to give help to people. When Mark tries to take off her safety suit, she gets frightened and will not let him touch it, asking him to not remove it. Mark understands the workers were keeping themselves safe from the people in the apartments, and he gets sure that something in their building has been exposed to a dangerous sickness. He scares Hazel, forcing her to tell the complete story. And with her life at risk, she at last begins sharing information. She tells them that the whole neighborhood has been touched by a deadly virus that can end life within minutes. The signs include bad coughing, hard breathing, and even losing sight for a time in its last stages. Scientists have been trying without rest to make a cure, but until now nothing has worked. Mark asks why all talking systems have been turned off. Hazel tells them that the government does not want regular people to learn about the virus because fear everywhere would make stopping the spread much harder. She also says that everyone inside the apartment has the same risk of being sick since the virus moves through the air. Hearing this once more makes Sergei very angry. He takes a knife and tears off Hazel's safety suit. Frightened, Hazel reaches into her pocket for a shot. But before she can take it, Sergei grabs it from her and holds it. The group looks at her while she tells them that the vaccine is still being tested and might not help at all. She says strongly that the most safe choice is to remain inside until the people in charge handle the problem. Later that evening, while the group talks about possible ways to escape, Hazel slowly pulls her hand free from the plastic tie and attempts to leave. Before she gets away, Sergei catches her and begins hitting her. Mark comes in to make him stop, but Sergei turns against him as well. By accident strikes Nico, making the child start crying. Not long after, the group sees an upset crowd coming toward the building. It appears that these people also wish to face Hazel and find out what is going on. The crowd thinks that Hazel has the vaccine. By this time, most of the suited workers have either been ended or driven away. Hazel, very afraid, tells the group not to allow the crowd inside since they could be sick. The words frighten everyone and they quickly block the door with heavy boards. The crowd gets to the entrance and starts hitting on it. The group asks the crowd to settle down, saying they are going to give them aid. When Sally gets closer and tries to calm them, someone hurls a sharp piece of glass that slices her neck, hurting her badly. As things get worse, Sergei throws a smoke bomb toward the crowd and they pull Sally back into the apartment. Hazel asks the group to let her go so that she can give help to Sally. The group lets her loose and Hazel tries to save her, but sadly Sally has already lost too much blood, making her stop breathing. Sally's ending destroys the group, most of all Aiden, who falls apart and goes into the next room. After the group places Sally's body in a bed, they begin looking for Aiden, but are unable to locate him anywhere. They soon understand he has already left the apartment. While putting on Hazel's safety suit, Aiden gives himself a shot with Hazel's vaccine and finds his way out of the apartment. When he gets to the outside space, several residents think he is one of the medical workers and right away come around him. They want vaccines and begin attacking him. A warning gunshot from the rooftop shooter makes most people run away. But Aiden does not escape. Even with the suit on, he is known as a sick person and is shot to death. Inside, the group sees Aiden get ended from the window. Sergei checks the hallway and watches a crowd of residents running toward their to exit the room right away. Mark, though, will not leave Hazel tied down and attempts to free her. Before he can, Sergei strikes him on the head with a bat and makes him pass out, leaving Hazel and him without protection. Sergei, Nico, and Enid find their way to the other rooms, leaving Hazel and Mark in that place. Some time after, Mark becomes awake and understands he is by himself. He quickly goes looking for Nico and the others. Through a window, he finds two workers in safety gear getting ready to let out harmful gas around the building. Not long after, he locates the group and with anger attacks Sergei for hitting him until he passed out. He almost chokes him, but Enid comes in and makes him calm. The harmful gas is then let out all through the area, making everyone run toward the rooftop. On the path, Mark watches Hazel's beaten, dead body with the very same note Sergei made for her officials, and he becomes sad, but he comes to Sergei for aid and Sergei answers with very bad violence. He strikes the man until other residents take control of him and hold him back. Sergei yells out to Mark for aid, but Mark is unable to do anything, so he closes the door and keeps going toward the stairs. After a hard struggle through the building, Mark is able to lead Enid and Nico to the roof. For the first time in many hours, they can take in clean air. Mark and Enid share the final remaining cigarettes they discovered and they choose to rest in that place. By morning time, Mark becomes awake and attempts to get Enid moving, but she does not answer. She has stopped living during the night. Now remaining only with young Nico, Mark knows he needs to keep him safe at any price. He says to the boy to shut his eyes and act like he is playing a game. Mark picks up Nico onto his back and takes him down the stairs. He goes past many dead bodies, which makes him very upset, but he continues going. His strong will works when he and Nico at last are able to leave the building. Mark searches for aid, but no one is nearby. Even the quarantine camps in the area have been left empty. All at once, he hears a message repeating the order for everyone to stay indoors. It says that anyone spotted outside, unless they are part of the medical groups, will be taken away. Mark puts on a safety suit and keeps moving through the area with Nico. A brief time later, a man from the building across faces them. He thinks Mark is one of the workers in safety gear. The man explains that his wife stopped living from the virus and that officials carried his daughter away. Filled with sadness, he takes Nico and holds a sharp piece of glass attempting to take the child from Mark, saying that he is now going to keep him believe that he is just a regular person, but the man will not trust him. Nico is able to get free from the man's hold, but Mark is not so lucky. The man stabs him in the stomach, leaving him very badly hurt. Nico gives him help to walk, and the two slowly go away while the attacker understands he made an error. They in the end get to a nearby park where Mark sits on a swing. He gives Nico his phone and says to make a call to a woman named Karen once there is a connection. The boy, not knowing that Mark is ending, attempts to help him stand. Mark instead acts like he is only tired and tells him he will come along. After resting for a short time, Nico trusts this and keeps walking while Mark sits in that place hurt. After some time, Nico is discovered by a pair of workers in safety suits who give him a shot to make a group of children around his age. A small girl next to him quietly gives him a present, a small act meant to make him feel better. He then sees a picture of Mark and another woman with a child. One of the workers promises him that things will be okay. In the ending, Nico holds Mark's phone in his hands, looking at the screen as he thinks about whether he should make the call. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on notification for more videos.